we create the constructor, we create a class, and whenever the class is created, the constructor actually initialize the variables of the class. So that is one of advantage of having constructor. So whenever you create an object, it will automatically create or instantiate some values. And what the destructor does, it basically the opposite of constructor. So whenever you create an object, okay, it takes some memory into your computer. So whenever you exit the program, sometimes that object is actually not being destroyed. So if you create a destructor class, what it does, it actually deletes or clear up the memory. So this is the definition. A destructor is used to destroy the objects that have been created by a constructor. So constructor creates the object, initialize values, destructor destroys the object. Like a constructor, the destructor is a member function whose name is the same as the class name, but preceded by a tilde. For example, the destructor is almost same, just this tilde sign will be in front. Now, this is a program that will explain how destructor works. This is another program. So we will first run the program, okay? In the first code, we will see that for a simple function, we will declare a variable. We will just a normal function, okay? So class called line. In the line class, we have a private variable that is length, and we have two functions. One is set length to set the value, and get length to get the value. Simple class, right? So here we have declared a constructor, nothing complicated, okay? What it does is just prints a line that is object is being created. That means you have been in this function, okay? And then we have this destructor that only gives you a printf that the object is being deleted. Simple, two functions, no other value initialization or anything else. Then we have this set length function that will give you the length, and that will assign the length, and the get length function that will return the length. And then in the main function, what we have this set, we creating an object called line. Let's make it L, it will be easier to. Then for this L, we are calling the set length function, and then we are printing the value that are being set. So if we call the function with 6.0, it will print 6.0. That's it. So let's run the program and see if we have the output or not. Okay. What did I do? Oh. So let's start from the main function. Okay, so to understand what's happening. So when we call this integer main, whenever we run the program, we always know the program starts from the main function, right? So this first line, it creates an object named L of the class line. So whenever he creates the object, the constructor is being called. Where is the constructor? Yes, this one. So it prints object is being created. So you see this line is being printed, object is being created. Then what it does, it goes to the next line. The next line is set length. So it goes to the set length function, which assigns the set length. Okay, so let me give a printf here as well. I think that will be more easier. Being set, and then here we can use object length being. So we have now a function for all of this. Okay, let's run the program again with all the printfs. So it will give you a sequential. So now let's zoom it up. So first, what happens when we call the object, create the object, the constructor is being called, and constructor starts with this line, object is being created. So this is our first line, object is being created. And after that, what we do, we call the set length function. So when we call the set length function, the program goes to this, okay? And the set length function is prints the object length being set. So object length being set. So now you see, whenever we call the function, it was 6.0. That means now the 6.0 value is set. And after that, okay, what happens? We use this console output, the length of the line, L.get length. So whenever this function is called, L.get length, Okay, so this is the function. So it prints the object length returned. So it goes to there, it prints the line and then returns the length. So after returning the length, it prints the length of the line. So this printer finally executes. Okay, it prints 6. Okay, and after that, finally, you see there's no other line in between this line, that the length of the line and the return 0. But you see there is another printf, object is being deleted. So that means whenever the program exits, okay, destructor automatically gets called and it actually deletes the object. So I think this example will make things more clear. I will repeat one more time. What we have a normal program, we have a normal class. The name of the class is line. So what we did for this class, we created a two member function, void set length and void get length. We declared a constructor, we declared a destructor. Those of you still confused which one is constructor and which one is destructor, constructor and destructor will have the same name as the class name, and the difference is before destructor there will be tilde sign. Okay, you can find the sign in the keyboard as well. Now this is our private variable. So what we do, we first in the main function we declare these 4 functions. So every function is nothing here, okay, just a printf, so that you can understand the order of execution. So when we first create the object is being created, this function is called. Then whenever we call the set length, the set length function is called. Whenever we call the get length function is called. And when we do nothing, we just return the program, the object is being deleted function is called. Now let's do another test. Okay, now let's create 2 objects, and then after creating this 2 object, okay, let's exit the program. Let's see what happens. So now we have created 2 objects, and you see that what we did, we declared 2 objects, right? So first for the object L, the object is being created, the constructor is called. For L2, again the constructor is being called. So every time you declare an object, the constructor will be called automatically. I hope that you get that in your mind. Next one is that whenever we call the set length function, okay, the object length being set, and then for the L, object length is returned. Okay, and then for this console output is printed. So all of this three line of program is being executed only for L. Okay, we are not calling L2. So only for L we are actually getting this 3 line, object length is being set, returned. But if you see at the end, we again getting object is being deleted, object is being deleted twice. So if you declare 30 objects, okay, now the question is, what if sir I declare 30 objects? In that case, what will happen? Or maybe array of objects. So will the constructor will be called 30 times? So this is a question. So before I will discuss this within a minute, but let me make sure that did you understand up to this, that how constructor destructor workflow work? I hope so, right?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't matter how many times you call a function. Okay, constructor object, constructor and destructor will be called once. So let's assume that for this function I will again, for this value I will again declare it. Okay, I will set another values, I will again change the values. Okay, let's do it for 7. Now if you run the program, you'll see that even though I am using the object again, okay, the constructor and destructor is only called same twice. So in between a program, when a program is running, okay, you can use the object as many times you want, but the constructor and destructor will be called only once. Next point, let's close this. Now let's see what if we declare an array. Okay, instead of using it, let's declare an array 30. So now let's see whether it works or not. So it was actually, I should have gone with 3. Okay, now see if I declare an array of object, so 3 means we have 3 objects, right? The constructor is being called 3 times. So this first constructor is called for L, and this 3 constructor is called for L2 3. That means for this array. So if you use an array of objects, for each of the object, the constructor will be called separately. So for L1, for L2, for L3, for these three objects, constructor will be called 3 times. Same way, for this three object, the destructor will be called 3 times. So in this way, you can actually, what you can do, you can modify the codes for different cases. Okay, and you can try out for other things as well. That if I do this, will the constructor be called or not? Okay, so this is the basic idea. Now there's one more test we can do. We can see here, this is another proof that the destructor doesn't get called, okay, until you exit the program. So this is another class that is called class timer. Okay, what it does, it has two function, constructor and destructor. So when you start the program, constructor gets called, okay, and when you end the program, constructor gets destroyed. So let's change the name, ends, okay. Now what happens when I run the program, let's see. So first we have this timer object for this timer class, and then there's a character. So if I type the character, what it does, it shows the elapsed time. So basically what it does, okay, it's actually keep track that how many times my program is running. That's it. And every time you run the program, so this is a unit of time. Every time you run the program, this value will increase. So let's assume that if I instantly do it, see that this value is a little bit less. So the calculation is not important, but the idea is important, that depending on how much time your program is running, the destructor will not be called. Only when you reach this line, return 0, only then the destructor will be called. Now there's two other concepts that let me give you a brief idea. One is called static class and constant. So these are actually related to efficiency. In case of static class, okay, this constructor also and the destructor also work in the same way.